If there's one thing that all humans have in common, it's the fact that we love food. Aside from the fact that we eat food for survival and self-preservation, we often eat food just for pleasure and fun. Another thing that makes food so amazing and interesting is the differences and similarities in its preference and what is considered acceptable in different countries, states, cultures, and even religions. In the same country, a kind of food may be acceptable in a region, state or province or area and be considered taboo in the next. It's crazy. However, no matter where you're from or what you believe, certain foods are considered exotic in some traditions or countries that may simply prove fatal to you when you consume them. And in today's video, we'll tell you about some of those kinds of foods and why they may be so dangerous to your well-being. Before that though, make sure to subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell to get real-time updates when we upload new videos. Let's get right into it. Koumazu. Italy has always been famous for its cheese. But today we're going to tell you about a cheese you wouldn't want to try no matter how daring you are. It's called Koumazu. It's made on the island of Sardinia from sheep's milk. At first glance, this cheese looks like the famous pecorino cheese, but when you look closely, you'll be astonished to find a hidden ingredient in it. It contains live maggots. Yes, you heard us right. If you're traveling, be sure to check your food before eating it because it might have some living creatures roaming inside it. Some people prefer to remove the maggots before eating this food because they can be harmful to us in many ways. Firstly, they can fly and attack to almost 15 centimeters, which means there's a chance of flying into your eyes, nostrils, or any other hole in your head. Secondly, if ingested, sometimes they can cause severe infection. It's horrible and happens when this soft cuisine is not digested by the enzymes and the gastric juice. When that happens, the parasites can make a home in your intestines and can prove to be lethal. The Italian authorities and the supervisory institutions of the European Union banned the production and selling of Koumazu many years ago. The local farmers of Sardinia tried their best to remove the ban by calling this cheese a traditional cuisine, since they were earning in large numbers from it. They were unsuccessful with that endeavour, but nowadays you can easily purchase Koumazu from the black market. If you plan to do that, make sure to close your eyes before consuming it and arrange for any medical emergency beforehand, as you are about to eat something very dangerous. Fugo. We all know that raw meat is not good for our health and can be fatal. While people think that sushi, a traditional Japanese dish, is dangerous to consume because it has uncooked fish in it, but there's something even deadlier that they're not aware of. You might not have heard of the Fugo fish before. Cooks have to practice the art of how to fillet this fish for many years before they're legally allowed to add them to their menus. This is because the internal organs of the Fugo contain a deadly poison named tetrodotoxin, which cannot be neutralized. When the fish is eaten, the toxin can be absorbed by the bloodstream and causes death in 50% of the cases. Now that is really risky food. This poison cannot be seen because it has no smell and color and looks like common water. Therefore, the cook has to be trained professionally and must know how to handle this fish in order to make it edible and not fatal. These days, Fugo is artificially bred like many other things and hence is safer for consumption than the wild species. In Japan, however, wild Fugo is still much preferred and served in over 3,000 restaurants, and it's very expensive too. Experts now say that if you're eating Fugo in a licensed restaurant, then there is no danger for you. Since then, the death rate has declined from 100 deaths a year to 1 or 2 deaths per year. All the deaths now are reported from unlicensed food stations, where the cooks are not qualified to cook this poisonous and deadly fish. Fessik. This ancient Egyptian dish is made up of dead fermented fish. Each year, the Egyptian ministry warns its people not to eat it, since it can cause severe problems if it's not cooked in the same ancient style as it was cooked when it was discovered. In that era, the locals of the area knew exactly how to make this dish, and then they passed on the recipe. Any variation in the recipe can cause poisoning by botulinum toxins. It can be fatal too if not properly handled. But people do not pay any heed to these warnings and continue consuming this dish regardless. The expert cooks claim that the recipe was passed on to them as a heritage from generation to generation and can be traced back to the time of the pharaohs. Every year, a large number of fish were left rotten on the shores of the River Nile. That was the time when this dish was invented. Nowadays, it's made in a different way with proper methods and precautions. The fish is properly scaled, salted, and then dried in the sun. Then it's kept for 45 days in a sterilized bowl full of brine. This procedure produces this divine dish with a pungent smell. It's a famous traditional cuisine in Egypt. Blood clams. These live in the waters of southeastern seas and are one of the strange cuisines found in Asia. They are blood red in color due to the high levels of hemoglobin in their body, and hence they're named blood clams. In some Asian countries like China, it's a very famous food. They serve it raw, boiled, or steamed. By treating these fish with heat, you can cook them, but this treatment cannot protect us from diphtheria and hepatitis because it contains a large number of bacteria that can cause either of these diseases. In Shanghai, the poorly cooked blood clams caused a severe outbreak of hepatitis A. Almost 1,000 people were infected, and 31 to 47 of them died from it. Blood clams were banned in Shanghai after this horrible incident, but in other parts of China they're consuming blood clams like before. They don't care whatever happens to them, they know the danger but continue their old practices. In Korea, they treat these clams at a very high temperature, which effectively kills bacteria in them and makes them safe for use as food. Kipiyong. Now let's talk about a plant source too that can be fatal if not prepared in the proper way that it should be. It's the Kipiyong fruit that's grown in Malaysia. The seeds of this delicious fruit contain cyanide, a poison that can cause death on the spot if consumed in a large quantity. It's a cuisine in Malaysia and must be prepared with great care, otherwise it can be dangerous and prove to be fatal. The good fact is that these trees are decreasing in number in Malaysia naturally due to frequent floods. Maybe this is nature's way of saving them from the danger of this fruit? The locals and the farmers who grow these fruits know the exact safe way of cooking them. Atki. This tree grows in Jamaica and its fruits are consumed by Jamaicans. They use it as a side dish with the salted cod. It's a traditional food in Jamaica, but it can be very dangerous. If by any chance you end up having the unripe fruit or the black seeds of this fruit, you can even die. They contain poisonous substances which can cause Jamaican vomiting sickness. Every year, a large number of people are affected by this disease due to the wrong use of this fruit as food. Special care should be taken while preparing it for consumption. Nutmeg. Well, you all might have used this spice once in a while in something you were cooking, or maybe you use it more often. Don't panic though. It's commonly used mostly in desserts and main courses. Consuming a small amount of this spice is perfectly safe, but if you eat more than 30 grams, that is a bit dangerous. It contains the substance called myristicin, which can cause hallucinations, confusion, and adverse physiological reactions in the body. Lychee. This fruit was considered harmless for many years. It's grown mainly in India, China, Thailand, and Vietnam. Scientists have not confirmed it yet, but it is believed to have caused the death of many children in Muzaffarpur. All the poisoned children who died ate unripe lychee the day before. Researchers have confirmed one thing, that lychee contains some toxins that can greatly reduce blood sugar levels. Therefore, it's advised not to eat lychee on an empty stomach or in a large number, because then it can be dangerous and deadly. Death snake curry. The meat of reptiles is not that safe, as some countries who consume them think they are. Snakes who have mastered the art of eating us, the humans, be it through their poison or by constricting and suffocating us, they'll surely kill us if they find us. So then how do people consume this deadly animal? Put it in a soup, fry it, whatever it may be, that dinner can be fatal and kill you. I think our best bet is to just leave them alone and forget about eating them. Shark. This dangerous and deadly creature is made into hakar, which is another name for a shark charcuterie. It's dried first and then left to rot for 5 months. It's considered the most horrifically disgusting food by many food experts and enthusiasts. Aside from how horrible the procedure of making this cuisine is, it's also difficult to eat too, because you can almost imagine the shark chopping you into small pieces with its teeth, or while you try to take a bite from this ferocious animal. Bullfrog. In some parts of Africa, this cuisine is served as a delicacy, and as expected, it can kill you immediately after consuming it. The French bullfrogs too, but they only eat the legs of the frog and leave the body because it contains poisonous secretions. This poison can cause kidney failure and ultimately death, so be careful before you plan to try this one. Octopus. This marine meat is very popular in many places. While some might think that it tastes like rubber, it actually can be very delicious, soft and juicy when cooked properly and carefully. Different countries have different ways of consuming this food. It's served boiled or grilled in Spain, Portugal and Greece. Thinly sliced raw fillets are made out of it in Japan. In Malta, octopuses are stuffed with spaghetti. Korea adopts the most unique way of consuming this food. They eat them alive with seasoning or dips. This cuisine can be very dangerous when taken like this. In South Korea, many people die due to choking on these creatures. Since it's served alive, the tentacles are still moving and can expand and choke the eater during swallowing. They can stick to the intestines, causing breathing distress and stop the supply of oxygen to the body, which can even cause death if not handled properly. A blogger in China tried to consume octopus even without cutting it into pieces, and the end result was horrific. As you can see, her face was badly harmed, and she was barely saved by luck from the deadly attack of this living cuisine. And that is the last one on our list for today's video. Let us know what you think in the comment section below about the food that made our list, and the ones you think should have been added. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and share the video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell to stay updated about new uploads. Until next time.